in the silence. We will feed the wolf of love together as we surrender. And listen to what wants to be born in us. Abun Debwashimaya. As you listen to the voice of your body, invite it to settle if you're ready to settle, or shift and scooch and dance in your seat where you are to allow your body to center and allow your mind to slow and catch up with your body in its settling. Abun Debashwa Maya. Your eyes can be closed or gently soften your gaze. Feel your feet grounded and your seat rooted. Abba, Abba, Abun Debwashmaya. Abun Debashmaya. Abba, Abun. O birther, father, mother of the cosmos. O thou, breathing life of all, creator of the shimmering sound that touches us. Abba, Abun, Debwashmaya. Source of sound, we hear you in the roar and the whisper, in the breeze, in the whirlwind. We hear your name, Abba, Abun Debwashmaya. Abba, Abun Debashmaya. Focus your light within us. Abun Debwashmaya. Make it useful as the rays of a beacon light our way. Abba, let us be beacons of light. Abun Debwashmaya. Abba. Abba. Help us breathe one holy breath, feeling only you. We surrender in the stillness to this one holy breath. Abun, Deboash Maya. Abun, Abba. Abun, Abba. Breath. Abun Deboash Maya. May the breath of the Holy One bring you back to this space, to this present moment. One of the lessons of the historical and narrative Jesus that I talked about last week, as I mentioned, the article that just landed so deeply in my heart and mind on my week away in class for my Unity Ministry courses. This lesson of the historical and narrative Jesus in the once and future Christ of faith is the reminder that Jesus, the way shower, taught us to call God, the eternal one, the ineffable, Father. It was not this being that was out there somewhere, only transcendent, but also immanent. That we are birthed as fully human and fully divine. So our way shower, we typically in Christian churches around the world say the Our Father. Abun Debash Maya. When I'm meditating on it, it's there. Lesson. Abun Debash Maya. O birther, O Father, Mother of the cosmos. In Prayer of the Cosmos, which I've used before, Neil Douglas Klotz teaches readers that Abba came to mean the familiar personal form of Father, translated from the Aramaic, from the root ab, an ungendered sound, an ungendered sound, ab, that refers to all fruit, all germination, proceeding from the source of unity. Not just our source of unity, but the source of unity. Abun can mean a personal father or spiritual father. And according to the mystical science of sound and letters, shared by Hebrew and Aramaic, the mystical science of sound and letters, the word Abun points beyond our concepts of male and female to a cosmic birthing process. It's Father's Day. Last week, when I touched on that article, I also mentioned that the historical Jesus is a disturber of the status quo. A disturber of the status quo. The author says that the historical Jesus presented. This isn't Paul Allen Laughlin talking, this is Jesus talking. That Jesus presented in a compelling way a new view of God as loving Father and God's workings, not as occasional intrusions of an otherwise aloof, transcendent being abiding in a far-off celestial realm and ruling from on high, but as an immanent presence continuously affecting human affairs in salutary ways from within. God can't do it without us. The God in us is what is at work in our world. Abun de Boash Maya is an immanent presence within. The underlying principle of creation, of which destruction is part of that cycle. Mystics today, like Matthew Fox and Mirabai Starr, in fact, if you haven't seen Unity's most recent copy, there's an awesome interview with Mirabai Starr in here. I'll put it back out in the hall. I swiped it this week to read it. But they talk about and illuminate what it means to stand in our expression of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, no matter what gender identity we claim. Ab is a genderless, ungendered sound. So what is the sacred masculine? The sacred masculine has courage to stand in conviction and truth. Sacred masculine does the inner work of bringing anger into the light of justice, not violence. Sacred masculine protects the vulnerable. Sacred masculine holds the gift of accountability without shaming. Sacred masculine lives in the embrace of the sacred feminine. Lives in the embrace of the sacred feminine in each of us. Let's pause here. Let's just pause and call to mind, who are the people in your life who are way showers of this sacred masculinity? Who are your way showers? Are you a way shower of this sacred masculinity? And I know this next thought of mine will not really be a surprise to anybody who is awake in the year 2022. We live in a culture that idolizes violence. The long arm of centuries of patriarchy run amok has coined the phrase toxic masculinity. A vision of manhood that rests on domination, aggression, control, power over, subjugation, misogyny. And it does not take much trouble to see evidence of that at work in our culture. I actually started to list those as I was gathering my thoughts, and I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot. I cannot. It was a little overwhelming. It was a lot overwhelming. And so again, we'll just pause for a moment, just pause for a breath or two. You know the examples of that cause your holy heartbreak. That version of patriarchy, of power over, is the no longer invisible thread that ties us to Juneteenth, a day that recognizes the legal abolishment of enslavement. It ties us to the fact that it took 2.5 years for that message to reach Texas. It ties us to Jim Crow, to Emmett Till, to Uvalde and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, to Buffalo and Ukraine, and the clear and present danger of an attempt to overturn our democracy, to turn it, fragile as it is, into even more of an autocracy. It ties me to the easy to take for granted freedoms that I enjoy as a middle class, middle-aged, white woman living in this city, in this state, in this country, in this moment, in this expression of the divine that I am. Abun debwash maya. Abun debwash maya. Abun debwash maya. Do I live in a way that honors Abun debwash maya, O birther, O divine, sacred mother, father, energy that created me, that enlivens all that I am and all that I do? Do I learn from this way shower Jesus, from the Buddha, the Shekinah, and all the way showers in my own life? From you? Do I trust in the abundance of spirit and share generously of myself and of my earthly treasures? Do I stand up, speak up against, as Jesus the way shower did, the unreliability of self-righteous religious leaders and civic leaders? And do I root out my own self-righteousness and violence of thought? Do I value the poor and otherwise despised? and see the necessity of loving not only the foreigner and my neighbor and myself, but the foe as well. Do I use my freedoms to bring about the freedom of all beings to live in peace, in safety, in well-being? We are the convergence of divinity and humanity. We say every Sunday that we believe in the divine essence of all beings. That includes us. And that then calls us to live in a way that we recognize that we are breathing from that. And that when we forget, because of course we are also fully human, I hate it when my humanity shows. But we are both. We are the convergence. And from that breath of the Holy One, Abun de Boash Maya, we are called to give birth to this world transformed. Abun de Boash Maya, O birther, Father, Mother of the cosmos, untangle the knots within so that we can mend our hearts' simple ties to each other. Lighten our load of secret debt as we relieve others of their need to repay. Erase the inner marks our failures make, just as we scrub our hearts of others' faults. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us. Free us from what holds us back from our true purpose. Don't let us enter forgetfulness, the temptation of false appearance. From you, Abun de Boash Maya, is born the power and life to do, the song that beautifies all. From age to age it renews. We renew it from age to age. To you, Abun de Boash Maya, belongs each fertile function, ideals, energy, glorious harmony during every cosmic cycle. Abun de Boash Maya, Abba. May we birth each other into freedom. And so it is. Amen.